Hi everybody, I'm Home for Spirit of Metal, and we are here at the Housecore Horror Film Fest in Texas, in actually Austin in Texas, with Steve from Neurosis. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, how are you?
Okay, so we are here in this fest, and you have any plans to check any bands out? What are your plans for the day?
Pretty much sound check and get ready for the gig. I don't think I'll get a chance to check much out.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. So this is like a horror film fest. Are you actually a fan? Do you watch horror movies?
I'm not really a fan of horror movies, you know, which is kind of funny. I'd asked that the other day. I mean, of course, I've seen them growing up. You know, certain things are stuck in my brain, like Exorcist or something like that. But psychological thrillers, maybe.
Okay.
You know, I think of movies that maybe technically The Wicker Man is considered a horror movie, the old one.
Okay.
I don't think it's a horror movie because it just seems like cool pagan people living their life on an island, and what's wrong with sticking a guy in a Burning Man? But you know, for the most part, like the trippy psychedelic movies.
Okay. So you guys just played a festival here in the US like last weekend, right? And then you have this fest. Next year you're playing metal in that fest. And I don't know, maybe it's my impression, you usually do smaller tours in the US and maybe some big festivals. Do you actually don't like touring, like big tours here in North America?
Well, we don't have the time. I mean, we all have families and day jobs, and this isn't our job. This is what we do because we love it, and it's our passion. And so really in America, we're lucky. We can usually do it on a weekend and fly somewhere and play it and go home and back to work on Monday, right? We usually take a couple weeks a year. I mean, we do play 20, 25 shows a year, but we'd usually do a bus trip in Europe for a couple weeks. But yeah, U.S., we pretty much stuck to just flying into the major cities and doing it that way, and hopefully our fans will meet us there, and you know.
Yeah. Okay, so this actually I was going to ask you about Europe. So I thought that usually you have longer tours in Europe. So that's not based on like fan base or preference. It's actually because you have to take vacation and you just use it to go to Europe.
Yeah, we have a certain amount of time where we can have 2 weeks, so we get in a bus and we go to Europe, because it's harder to pay for your plane tickets to Europe, so you need more concerts to do it, you know, so it's just logistics. Okay. But we may, I mean, we're talking about, you know, it's been a long time since we've hit some of the smaller cities in the U.S., so we're talking about maybe skipping Europe 1 year soon and getting back in the bus and playing some of the smaller cities that we can't afford to get to on a weekend.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
Okay,
but full-time touring, that's not what we do, you know.
Well, yeah, it's interesting, yeah. So, okay, this is more of a question about the band in general. People, when they talk about you, people even say like you are one of the most influential bands in the last 2 decades. When you hear things like that, what does that like represent to you?
It's hard to hear sometimes, because I think one thing that would destroy a music like ours is ego, and letting any sort of ego in fuck shit up for people, you know. I think it's a testament to our brotherhood and our never giving up on each other as human beings, and I mean, we've spent our entire adult lives together, you know, and you know, we're all in our mid to late 40s now, and we were teenagers when we started it, so you know, we've seen births together, we've seen deaths together, we've been through a lot of it. And one thing that we have done, which everybody says they do, but I don't know if it's true for most people, is we've dedicated ourselves to this music. This music is really all we have, you know, when all is said and done, it's our legacy besides our children. And I think we just need to treat it with honor and respect. And so the fact that we have given it, allowed it to stay pure without merging it with money or ego or business, as far as like on a corporate level, keeping it all DIY, keeping it pure, keeping it true, not doing things that don't honor the music, has been influential for people, because when people hear something that's real and honest and emotional and intense, whether they like it or not, you know, I think they can tell that it's real. You know, and I that's what inspired me growing up, was what was real, what was original, and what moved me. So
So, like in the beginning, you guys went from a hardcore punk band, and you basically from that you basically created something that is now called post metal. And but I'm just curious. I'm pretty sure every artist say, "Oh, we evolve. We want to evolve. We want to do something new." But was that something that happened in your life, or something that pushed you guys to that direction, besides just artistic, desire to do something different?
There wasn't a single catalytic event. I think the visualization of what it could be was there from the beginning. We just had no idea how to get there. We were too young, too inexperienced with our instruments, and so we each time just tried to push it one step farther, and get through the different boundaries and limitations. And I don't know, it just came naturally. It just evolved really organically, and there's been a million different events, million life events that informs our music and our evolution. But I think it really is learning to let go and learning to put the head out of the game and let it all flow from the gut, from the center of the earth and out your soul. And each time we get better and better at learning how to do that,
So talk about these emotions. Your music, okay, this is my way. Sometimes I listen to music, it's more this powerful feeling, or sometimes it's happiness, or this kind of a pleasurable agony. For your music, for me, it was more of like soul searching, in that kind of pleasurable agony mixed. When you play your music, what do you feel?
Release, all that stuff kind of is just existing, and it's in there and it builds up. And so to be able to just it doesn't always happen in a perfect moment. I'm gone, and that I just am that sound. And it is just it's not always that perfect, some flash here, some person there, pull you out of it, but in an ideal environment you just are the music, and it just, I don't know, it's heat, it's light, it's energy, it's wonderful.
Awesome. Okay, so all these years of experience, is there what is the major life lesson that you have learned with this 20 years or more of band? What would you say if it's one major lesson that you learned?
Stick with your family and your friends, because that's everything. Yeah.
So you think for new musicians out there, they're starting a tour life, you think that this is what they always have to keep in mind?
I would think so. I mean, you have to build. I can't speak for other people. Some people are performers and they like a different aspect of music, and that's totally valid. But for us and for this kind of music, it's about family and being there for each other, and learning how to survive and do something meaningful in this crazy ass world we live in.
Okay, talk about graphics. So you guys have all these graphics, and do you think that because of you, so many bands now are also improving their graphics? There's so much beautiful artwork with bands nowadays. Do you think you guys were kind of some band that inspired the use of artworks like that?
I never thought about that. I mean, we've always struggled to find the right artwork, for our stuff. But we've been lucky to work with some great people, and put certain imagery out there. But at the same time, I mean, I think there's a lot of great art out there, and there always have been. I mean, you look at record covers back to the beginning of album art, and there's just some amazing things that are done. So I don't know, I never thought of us as influential in that way or not, but yeah.
Okay, so talking about albums, you guys released your latest one 2 years ago. Is there any work already done to a next one?
We haven't started, but we can feel the energy starting to really bubble up, where we're like, okay, let's stop, because we don't see each other very often. We live very far apart. The only time we see each other is, hey, I'll see you next month in Tucson or Austin or Mexico City, and So now we're starting to really feel the energy get really tense, and it's like, okay, we need to stop booking these concerts, and we need to get together in the rehearsal space because it's going to happen. We feel it. Yeah.
Okay, so I know we don't have a lot of time. You guys are busy. Just want to ask you for the plans. You have Maryland Death Fest announced already. Anything else for 2015 that you can already announce?
Mexico City in a month. Okay. And I think we're going to have some New Year's gigs. They're not ready to announce yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's going to be a couple concerts around New Year's. And then we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay. So I have to always ask this in the end. Any message for the Spirit of Metal viewers?
Just keep listening.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.